Real Madrid 3, Dortmund 2 in a game where it became really spicy out of nowhere, and if Real Madrid play the same way against PSG, they are pretty much finished. First of all, a couple of honorable mentions. And this is coming from a Barcelona fan. Arda Güler, what an amazing player, man. I have no idea why Carlo Ancelotti wasn't playing this guy more frequently, because he had 2 assists in the game, and both of them were crosses. A piece of art, exceptionally good crosses. Another honorable mention is Mr. Gonzalo Garcia, and this guy is really good at his position, and that's why Xabi Alonso trusts him, right? Every time he has played, he has delivered, he has either assisted or scored a goal, and I think he's going to be a starter for La Liga, right? Because I don't see a reason dropping him. Obviously, he's a really good player. Now, we have one dishonorable mention, and that's Mr. Vinicius Jr., and I know a lot of Real Madrid fans are going to get personally offended by this, but I don't have anything against Vinicius Jr. I'm talking strictly by performance standpoint, right? Because the only game he has actually done something and contributed is against a much weaker Mexican side, which was Pachuca. Then you have Kylian Mbappe, who got subbed in and he contributed, right? He made the difference. He scored a goal. So I don't understand why Xabi Alonso keeps playing Vinicius Jr. over Kylian. Maybe just because Kylian Mbappe recently had a minor surgery and he's managing his minutes. I don't know. But as it is right now, both Kylian Mbappe and Gonzalo Garcia are playing better than Vinicius. And Real Madrid needs consistent performance, right? You can't play one game and be visible on the rest. And Xabi Alonso should at least try for one game, start with Kylian Mbappe and Gonzalo Garcia, and see how it goes. Real Madrid, for the vast majority of the game, they were vibing, man. They were chilling. They knew what they were doing. They had clear instructions. They were fully in control of the game. And even though Dortmund weren't having their best games, they weren't having the game of their career, Real Madrid did a really good job defensively in the midfield, right? Something you didn't really see under Carlo Ancelotti. But it seemed too good to be true, because Rudiger at this point should have an assist on the scoreboard, because that clearance was sloppy. And it seemed more like a direct assist than a clearance, man. That was a really bad clearance from Rudiger, and it's something you wouldn't expect from a player of his caliber. Then Real Madrid managed to score another goal with a beautiful cross from Arda Güler and a really nice finishing from Mbappe. And everyone will think by now that the game is over, right? No, it's still Real Madrid. And like Carlo Ancelotti said, this team has to suffer. I guess the curse from Carlo Ancelotti still lingers in the Real Madrid team. And after a while, Dean Huijsen concedes a penalty and he gets a straight red card, which is a huge loss for Real Madrid because he misses the game against PSG. But even though I know it's a goal scoring opportunity denied, I think inside the penalty area it's still a yellow. Now, I'm not 100% sure about the rule, but since the referee gave Dortmund a penalty, I think it should be a yellow. I might be wrong again. And now, at the very last dying breath of the game, Courtois has to save Real Madrid from a draw yet again, because if Dortmund had scored there, that will push the game to extra time and possibly to penalties. So Courtois was the hero of Real Madrid again. Now, I'm not sure if Real Madrid players have some kind of masochistic tendencies or, they like to suffer more than needed. But all they had to do is waste a little bit more time, show a bit more of composure and concentration and see this game out, and it will be a nice and clean victory. But they chose the hard way, the suffering way, and they had to make this game that was already gone, they had to make it a really tight game for no reason. Now, the performance of the Real Madrid players during the last few minutes of the game should be taken into consideration by Xabi Alonso and his coaching team, and it should be worrisome because the game went from being controlled and pretty much done to almost turning into a complete clown fiesta, a set show, a crapola, right? And that's something to worry about, because that means you can't close a game that you have already won pretty much. Anyway, my verdict for Real Madrid is that they played really well. They didn't create that many chances, but they controlled the game, but they seemed like they were crumbling like a crouton during the dying moments of the game, and that's something that should never happen. Let me know what do you think about the game, and if that's something that Real Madrid should worry about.